That's all right.
They can get
You did? Yeah, I was here like 2 hours ago.
which is good. Well, I say good.
Okay, so you can get something to stay before, just for some, in case you do stuff. Because
No.
they're very informed.
So, we need to make a decision. One of the hour is better, he's the better role. But he's not as good, so you don't put
So we'll be here tomorrow to see them.
that's too busy. Carnegie's as good as the hourly, they're early down person. But it's hourly. In Pennsylvania, you don't get your attorney's fees back.
And then,
Yeah.
but I gave him the two.
Yeah. We need to ask Tommy about that.
Shay, was that okay?
This right here though.
Are they okay?
Yeah, but you address this one to us, not to him.
Oh, no, I
You
don't
can't
know why.
collateralize this,
It's
so
okay, we'll fix
this
it.
is,
You want me to go get another one?
No, he's not here.
this is,
But if you go out tomorrow, so it's, I got time to fix it. Where's the place I think it is? This is your,
oh,
don't lose it. Come here, look.
yeah, we'll see. That would be 11, 12.
You're good.
You need a pen? You need a pen? Just to make notes,
Oh, you cracked up on me.
Yeah.
Take those, yeah, right.
Done. Give me this paper, please.
You use the bag of this. Oh, gosh. You ready?
You ready?
Call the meeting to order for Municipal Hospital District, January 24th. It is 6:03. Introduction of guests. Do we have any?
Oh,
Yes.
that's me.
I'll start. I'm Ed Morrow.
Public
Yeah.
comment.
Dog.
Yeah, any minutes?
Jeff Farlow.
Well, what's been open?
Chris Porter. Noah Donishman.
Hazel Mo. Out to Edward.
Larry Barron.
Gloria Roman.
Steve Lucas. David Stick. Anthony Stromecki.
I can't. Sharon Burgess.
Hubert Oxford.
Rebecca McDonald.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Rebecca McDonald. What is your name again? Rebecca McDonald. Menard? McDonald.
McDonald.
Oh, McDonald, I'm sorry. Okay.
Welcome, everybody. You want to do some things, Jeff?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
public comment?
Rebecca.
You sign it for me?
No, I'm sorry, I was just signing.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you have another sign sheet?
Hmm?
You have a sign sheet?
Yeah, it's over there. You want it?
Before review and approve minutes of previous meetings, December 20th, which was the public hearing and the regular meeting, and January 10th of 18, special meeting.
That much. Which one do you want to get? Oh, you go with the phone. You want to do that first? Okay, and then, one more thing, just before, so when she gets up, then go ahead and get on the phone. That was it.
Yeah, I'm saying after we finish the committee reports.
Oh. Okay, and then I just want to let you know, Larry Barron wanted to know if he could speak on, to just say thank you for your EMS for the help.
Can you sign that?
No, he didn't.
All this down here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a line for that. Oh, I thought you did that.
I was, but I'd make a motion to approve the minutes for the public hearing and the regular public hearing and regular meeting for December 20th, and the meeting minutes for January 10th.
Second motion.
Motion made by Anthony, second by Sharon to approve the minutes of December 20th and January 10th. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Review and approve financial reports, payment of invoices, receive accountant's report, and amend the budget necessary.
But I just want to.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, I think it's payroll tax, but we can ask Dave.
Yes,
David, is this payroll tax related right here?
yes,
Okay.
97, yeah. That's the FTTA, we paid, we did it through EFTPS today.
Okay.
And then the other one is, it accrues, that's state unemployment, it's actually zero, but it accrues it automatically, we have to back that out.
Good.
So I've got a balance sheet as of December 31st, and then last year's, total budget for 17. It's the one December 31st, 17, and it's got the, year-to-date, for December, January through December 17 compared to the budget. This is, 24 days into the year, so there's some adjustments that are gonna need to be made on this, but it's pretty much set. And particularly, one of the adjustments may need to be how much is gonna be based on the scorecard, additional revenue in the, QUIP program for the first quarter, and then the first month of the next quarter. So there's just some adjustments that there's no way we can predict till we get a firmer number on it, but that's the budget comparison. I've also got a balance sheet that lists the balances of the district. And we'll talk more about that I believe when we get into the audit. The next item is the, approving the, well, I went ahead and ran out a 1 month for this, this period, which showed about a 4 years worth of budget compared to 1 month, so, it's really pretty much just a restatement of the budget. It doesn't tell a lot to compare 1 month with a 12 month. And then the next item would be the check register and the approval of the bills. So just let me know when you're ready to do the actual invoices. The check register that we get, however, what, it shows also the checks that were approved last meeting. And then it has this, that way y'all have got checks, all checks since the last meeting, since the checks at the last meeting, the report got, hey Sherry, did that report get messed up last meeting, or we had an issue on the checks, when the checks printed. They printed double-sided, and so we had to go back and reprint them. So this is the actual check numbers on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
And then the next page is the current invoices for approval totaling $52,000.
David, I have a question, and this might have been why you called me, but for the 2017 sheet, the budget versus actual,
Yeah.
do we need to go in and,
Record the nursing home?
no,
We do.
we need to go
That was
in?
one of the comments on the.
You're right. We need to go, the biggest adjustment to that, if you want to get the big picture.
That's not what I was asking. Do we need to go in and change the numbers for the budget to reflect the most recent amendment?
That reflects it. Look at the totals and they're the same. There's some question about whether down in the,
This piece of paper.
right.
We need to double check that out.
Go ahead. The thing that may be different, and the reason I think it points it, that down in the indigent care, and Sherry and I looked at it, the UTMB costs exceeded the amount.
At the December meeting, we did an amended budget. And, I just, these numbers are the numbers, like if you go to page 6 of the, minutes where we have it cut out of the amended budget.
Of the minutes?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is in QuickBooks, do we need to update the QuickBooks numbers for the end of
Well, let's just look at it. Total revenue is $5,685,021, but we did another $40,000 downward on sales tax. For the December 20th.
Well, I mean, just for instance, legal fees, for just professional legal fees, we, during the last, when we amended the budget, we reduced that from 160 to, remember we reduced it to 40?
We need to reallocate those, yes.
I mean, just so that the records are.
Right. But as far as the total, those are right on.
Well, I mean, like we also increased the UTMB number to that was increased to 40,000, whereas on this, on 604, it's saying 10,000 still.
Yeah, that's the UTMB. We were looking at that today, and there was a discrepancy on one of the emails. We're trying to get it done and just there's another number it's gonna come out of. So yes, we do need to.
So the reason why I'm making these comments is because if you look at the percentage of budget for the end of 2017, it shows that there's several of these categories that are over budget. But at the last meeting, we amended the budget so that we're not over budget.
We didn't, the amount of quip, I think, is what's causing it to be over. And I'll go back and make sure on those, but there was two sources I was referring back to, and it's very possible I made a mistake on this, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just, all I'm saying is we need to
Yeah,
update this.
we need to go back.
Right.
Because I remember doing it.
Right, I wasn't sure about the quip though, I think that's still a boogaboo on this.
Yeah, I think he's just referring to the stuff on page 6, where we.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Where we discussed changing the UTMB costs up 30,000 to 40,
Yeah.
but in the budget, it's not.
Yeah, the changes that we made on the
They're only
budget,
in the budget.
we
Yeah,
need to get them, we need to get QuickBooks to
Right.
reflect this thing.
Yeah, I'll do that. So what I'll do is I'll go through and make sure, and I would save this for approval. And we can do that, I think, outside the board meeting, and then I'll present it again. But the numbers themselves, even the actuals, there's gonna be some additional after year-end items that really count back to 17 that we're gonna have to either add, take out, so they'll reflect the exact year. And a lot of the invoices we even pay today refer back to 17. But the budget numbers, yeah, I'll get that. You want me to read out the invoices, or you guys want to go through and look at them? Okay.
So if we approve of everything, I would recommend approving the financials less the end of the year profit and loss. And then we can approve that at the next meeting.
Motion made. To approve the pending changes. Financial report, maybe it's paid motion. Motion made by Jeff, second by Sharon, to approve the financial reports, payment invoices, pending the corrections done to the profit loss of 2017. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Committee reports, Finance Committee.
I don't have anything.
And, I thought, your project, that's nothing. Indigent Healthcare Committee,
Nothing,
nothing. Personnel Committee,
nothing.
nothing there either. Hospital liaison, Coach, you got anything?
Yeah, St. Vincent de Paul had a patient, I don't know how he ended up there, but he needed to be transported to Houston. And they needed transportation, so I came and tried to talk to Dan here at the hospital, but he was out, so I talked to Shugi. And she said, well, I need to talk to the people in charge of St. Vincent de Paul, which is Mrs. Henry and Elroy. So they came and talked to her, and they did provide transportation for the patient to Houston, to a specialty clinic in Houston for adults, because it was a grown man. So that's a fly for the hospital. Thank you.
Good, we thank you for that. Got anything else? And Mo ain't here to get a pat on the back. Chris, it's up to you, buddy.
I'll make sure to tell us.
Yeah, we do appreciate that, that was very, very good. Discuss and take action on reports by the district administrator. Do you have anything? We'll move on to Yanni. Indigent care director.
Is that it? I'm on report lunch, my budget in it. Yeah, yeah, okay. I think those are shares, yeah.
That's where hers starts. Those are the invoices that go with it. It looks like it didn't print.
Yeah,
right.
it might, here,
How much is cut, how much is cut off?
It was just the totals for the end of the year.
yeah. Well, here's,
What's important is the December.
so for the month of December, we had a total of 69 clients. And the total amount, billed for the hospital services was, $18,682.
Just the.
And with Medicaid rate, it went down to $7,659.62. The pharmacy, total was $7,611.87. The actual paid amount was $6,263.02. For the UTMB services, the total was $45,705.27. The actual pay amount was $12,694.15.
Yanni, for the months prior, we were in the 70s. Did people not renew or not gonna?
It's a little bit of everything. And whenever we went up, I'm trying to word it right. We had several people come in that that were capable of that did qualify for the program, but after 185 days, or I give them till the next time they have to come in to renew, they have to be either having proof that they're seeking a job, or they're trying to apply for SSI, disability, Medicaid, trying to apply for some assistance. And a lot of them don't. Whenever they come back, they have no proof, or they just didn't do it. And
They understand what they have to do, right?
yes, whenever they actually sign a document saying that they agree to the terms of our policy. And so in those months, I did have a lot of clients that were eligible for that time, but whenever it was time to renew, they don't. And a lot of them, they move, or their phone number changes. I get sometimes a mail back. I can't call them, I can't reach them. So a lot of that is usually what happens, is they move, or they just get a number change, and I just can't.
I had a question, and the reason why I printed this out is now that we know what the totals are of the amount of money for year to date that we spent or incurred, and we're kind of looking at evaluating like indigent percentages with a grandfather provision in it, you know, for people that are already on the program. I was trying to kind of see what y'all thought about how to allocate. We need to figure out how much, on average, it costs to have for an indigent patient, you know, per year. I'm not sure if this year is a year to do it, because we only started the UTMB kind of towards the end. But one way I was thinking is if you just added up, if we just kind of came up with an average number of patients per month from January to December of 2017, and then looked at how much we actually paid. Does it? It just seems like a pretty relevant number, like for budget reasons, you know, and especially when you're trying to establish if you want to go down on your percentages since you're going up on your services, or if it's even necessary to go down, you know, because, yeah, well, I mean, it may not even be necessary because, you know, the amount of extra care that people are getting at UTMB may not be as much as what we were anticipating. But the number for UTMB for December is right around what we budgeted for, or what y'all budgeted for 2018 per month. and that came out to like $180,000. And when you have the money, it's just, the concern was that your exposure at 150% is like 2,000. Theoretically, you could have like 2,000 indigent patients on your indigent rolls at 150%. It's kind of food for thought.
And I think, the way how it's been, for the month of December, and even now for this month, it's been a little slower. What I was telling Hubert is at the beginning, our UTMB numbers were really high because we didn't have that service, or they didn't have that option. So we had, the providers had a lot of our clients kind of like on hold, I'll put it. And whenever this came, the service was available to them, I mean, I had a lot of referrals. And so now it's kind of slowed down a lot because most of the ones that needed to be seen have already been, treated or seen. So hopefully it kind of stays the way it is, that it's been for the last 2 months. So hopefully we don't see like really big numbers.
Yeah, it's just something, I mean, it's not that you can't afford at 150%, but if you were to get an onslaught of new indigent applicants, and you're responsible for $35,000 per applicant, I mean, per enrollee, that adds up.
So, and then just what's following that first report, it's just an overall of all my vendors, and in the back is more detailed of each service. And that's it. I did want to go over, I met with Stace. When was it?
Yesterday.
Yeah, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? I think it was like a week ago. Okay, so I met with Stace yesterday about the youth counseling, and it went very well. I absolutely love her, and I cannot wait until to actually work more with her. We figured out that she would be giving me the invoices. It's going to be like an every week thing, just because I already have so many other ones reporting to me. I guess right now what we're trying to figure out is office space for her. And I told her that it would be fine if she wanted to use my office for now. I would just have to like lock up, all of my files and keep all that locked for her to use it until we can find somewhere permanent for her.
The issue is whenever we talked to her, whenever we thought she was gonna be at St. Vincent de Paul, but they close at 4. And realistically, when people would probably need to be seeing her is after school.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing. A lot of parents, they work, some of them do work out of town, and it would just be more convenient for everyone, especially the parents, for her to see the children, the kids after school hours or business hours.
The offices aren't separated over there? They're not? I thought they was in that huge building in the back. Those offices are there.
It's not one.
They couldn't,
Hey, Tom.
she would have access back there? People wouldn't either? They have to come through the,
I'll go ahead and get you initiated.
they have to come through the front to get to those offices, or is there an entrance?
Regarding
back building back there where the offices
And they'll
are.
probably,
I mean, I don't,
Put him on speaker.
Same deal.
okay.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, St. Vincent de Paul.
They couldn't leave one of those, get have access to office even though it's closed.
And if I hang up on
I'd have to talk to them, I mean, they probably can. Nobody mentioned it or anything.
Bo, y'all wouldn't happen to have a space available for the, counseling? To meet with patients in the, afternoon, evening?
Let me talk to Jan, I think this, we might be able to work out something.
Yeah, and she, whenever I talked to her, she also talked about, her files,
Okay.
that she would need a little bit of space for filing as well.
Yeah.
And it would be, like, every time she would see someone and it wasn't in a, where she just keeps her files at, she would be carrying back and forth.
Well, let me talk to Jan, I think there's a spot we can go ahead and cancel.
Okay.
How much of a spot are we talking about, just a room?
Yeah, I mean, even like one of the offices, like the sizes of ours, the ones out here in this hall, she said that was fine.
Okay,
Yeah, that would actually work for her, she said.
all right. I'll follow with Dan and he'll be in touch with you
Okay.
about it.
Perfect.
So, and y'all talked about like she was gonna send bills,
Every,
how did y'all decide to like
Uh,
cancel?
so on Mondays, she would, send those to me, she would email those to me.
What about like reports?
What do you mean?
Like so that at the board meeting, y'all could say how many people were.
Yeah, I would, yes, I would have that. She will be sending me, this is, so she would send me the, how many hours, the date, who was seen, how many hours, and the amount.
Oh, yeah. And then did y'all talk about marketing?
Yes, we actually did talk about that. She had this really good idea that I'm all for it, about putting it on our web. To where the parents could go into the Winnie Hospital District web and do all the paperwork in there, which is the application, Hubert, what else did she say came with it?
She was gonna, so basically you could apply online.
Yes. So she wanted to get with Lisa Stromacki, because she is the one that's in charge of
Right, to figure that out.
the web. And it's just more convenient.
Does she have a form already created?
Yes, she
She
has,
can just send that to
yeah,
Lisa.
she has the link and everything. And whenever they make the appointment, it'll go straight to her.
The other thing I was gonna tell you is Wayne Wilbur down there at the ESD, they created a Facebook page for the ESD and the volunteers, like 2 months ago. And they already hit, and the reason why was to kind of do an incentive to get more volunteers to sign up. Well, they've been pretty active about updating it and taking pictures and posting information. And they have like 3,000 followers now. So in Winnie, this area is 7,000 people, so they got 3,000 people. And they've had all kinds of new volunteers over there. So if you apply that to an indigent care program, or to get information out like about this, it kind of has a snowball effect. At the ESD, I mean, you could set up a page, anyone can set up a Facebook page, but it's really good to distribute accurate information.
Right. And she just wanted, approval from the board, right? If it was okay for her to talk to Lisa about getting together and setting up the links and stuff onto the website.
But they have a budget for marketing, and I think this would fall in that budget, so. maybe I would get some idea from Lisa, like how much she thinks it was gonna cost. You know,
Well, maybe she needs to talk to Lisa and show her what she has to do.
yeah.
So
She
that's
always
what
goes,
she- yeah, I mean-
she needs to get a call from Lisa and
So she can talk to Lisa.
then, yeah, yeah.
So I need to hear it, it's okay for her to talk to Lisa.
Yeah, and then have Lisa submit the proposal to you.
Yeah, okay,
Tell her that, Ed.
Yeah, that'll work.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
It's good. And then you'll hear from the hospital on space.
Yes. Right, Mel? And one last thing, tomorrow I head out to Austin for my state conference. And that's it. I'll be reporting back.
Safe trip. It's not gonna be icy.
Yeah.
At least it's not gonna be icy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You did good, Clark.
Yeah, I did. Oh, like Toyota up there. That's it. That's my report.
Anybody have any questions? Comments? Going back to district administrator, Sherry, you got anything?
Just that we've started receiving the QUIP funds for the, what do you call it? Components 2 and 3 in the lapse payment. So we're getting QUIP 1 for December, and then we're getting additional, the lapse funds for components 2 and 3. So. And we haven't received all of them. We're just starting to receive them.
So what the money that's coming in now is the money, the supplemental funds, why you participate, is the money that you get back above and beyond the IGTs. And we got our scores for our nursing homes, so out of 100% achievement of the metrics levels for the 4 various quality criteria, our nursing homes achieved 90%. So we got $9 out of $10, which is pretty exceptional. And then we also were able to get, since we did so well, we got $400,000 from this money that was, so if there's $100 in the pot, then only $60 got paid out for the achievements. They take the other $40 and split it out among the people who met the various achievement levels. So we were able to capture another $400,000 from that. So in total, it's like $900,000 that are or more in those funds that will end up, you know, splitting with the nursing homes.
And that's
That's it. You, general counsel, you have anything?
And just briefly, this kind of involves Sherry too, but we have finally gotten to where if you look at the financial report, the amount of money in Wells Fargo is like $70,000. So we're closing those accounts, and we got everybody's approval to close those accounts at Wells Fargo. And pretty soon, we will have 100% over at Post Oak Bank using the double lockbox system. So it was challenging to do it, but it should save a lot of money being at Post Oak Bank as opposed to at Wells Fargo. And it also helped Sherry with Wells Fargo and their sending money to Prosperity Bank.
Good luck with that headache, Steve. It's okay. You got people that can do that, it's not a problem. It's,
We also have a interest payment, principal payment due tomorrow for, loan 10. And, the money, the timing of it is pretty tight, but there's money there to cover all of our obligations. We're still waiting on a bunch of money from United Healthcare for, the IGT return money, but, anyway, Sherry's on top of it, she's got it all organized and accounted for which, like if it's component 1, which is the IGT money, she knows who it's coming from and why, and component 2 and 3, and then what the managed care organization is. So there's 5 managed care companies paying on 19 nursing homes. So some nursing homes have 5 deposits coming in for various
Well, with
aspects of
United
it.
Healthcare, they only send one check, but they send an email saying how much goes to each nursing home, so it's easy accounted for.
we have an LTC, is that it?
Oh, just one last thing. On Friday, Steve and I are gonna, Steve Lucas has arranged a meeting with Post Oak Bank. They're having a loan committee meeting. So we're gonna go and talk to them about trying to utilize the lockbox method to be able to get a larger line of credit at Post Oak Bank so that we can reduce using Salt Creek Capital, because Salt Creek Capital is now like trying to come back to the hospital district and try to go back to letting us borrow money on the terms that we did under the impact program, which, you know, would cost over the next 4 years, it costs like $1.2 million extra. So hopefully we can convince Post Oak that they have collateral now in the receivables coming in. And so we've been working pretty hard on getting a presentation that was somehow concise and yet informed.
Hopefully. Anybody have any questions?
What that would do for you practically is save about $6 million over the next 4 years. At least $6 million. Like, so that $6 million would be able to stay here and use around the district.
Get your new car after all.
Steve's been real patient with my emails.
No problem.
Give him something to laugh about. Did we get an LTC report?
No, they were gonna report quarterly.
That's true. First quarter.
Yeah.
Again, never.
Yeah.
Hospital report? You got anything, Mo?
Nothing to report.
Not yet?
Nothing yet.
You missed a pat on the back a while ago.
Well, he took it for me, so, you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna pat me on the back later on.
Yeah, wait for that one. Moving on to number 8, discuss and take action necessary in approving the 2016 audit.
Tommy's on the phone. He
Make sure he's going.
he didn't, yeah, he is. He didn't have, he had us for next Wednesday instead of this Wednesday. So we said, we get us this audit now. And so they've been working, it's a last minute type deal. But anyway, they have a draft of an audit that he's gonna discuss with y'all tonight. And if y'all approve it, then they will finalize it tomorrow so that we can have it for this meeting next week, on Friday. It's a draft, so if you'll bring them back, please return those back to me. Is he on mute?
I'm here. Call me?
Can you hear? Yeah, can you hear?
Yes, we can.
So I think the order that, if you were the way I got this in the email you sent back, it looks like the order is a little bit different, but we're gonna start with actually the manual list, page 1. And I'm not gonna go through all 43 of these pages because we'd be here all night. I wanna talk over the big items here. So the page 1, starting off, is actually the management internal control point. And the two big things that we've written up is similar to last year, not identical, and they're very easily explained. So we've got a financial close process, the very first one, and it's a matter of making sure all entries are accounted for and there's no material entries that need to be made. There were a couple of entries that had to be made. One of the biggest ones was really regarding retained earnings, and that's because of the length of time it took to get the 15 audit done, getting the nursing home books closed. So unfortunately, when management closed out the books for 16, those entries for the nursing home had not been made, so they were just kind of a carry forward. It's one of those things that it is required for us to disclose, but however, the timeliness of the nursing home is really what caused this issue to come up. The second one is the nursing home activity. The district having nursing home activity. One thing that's not going on is getting the nursing home income statements timely matter from the operators or managers, and so therefore you're not reporting that activity on the district's book. Again, the same type of issue that we had last year. The good thing is that I know subsequent to year-end, management has executed an amended and restated management agreement with the nursing home managers to require monthly financials on an accrual basis, and that's very important. You guys can put that revenue expenses on a monthly basis. Starting with page, it's actually labeled page 3. That's our governance letter. What this is a letter and the board. And I'm not going to read everything through it. And what this does, it points out any material injuries that we may have. It also discusses any difficulties we may have during performing the audit. The big one thing I always like to comment is on the middle of page 4, it says disagreements with management. This is something that we're required to disclose. If we have disagreements with management, we're required to disclose it to the board, put it in the report, and make sure everybody is aware of that. We didn't have any disagreements with management. The type of disagreements that we can have that we've actually had to write something for is really accounting treatment. That there's a disagreement in a way, and not following GAAP or accepting accounting principles or anything like that. So I always like to go over that and make sure that the board is aware that we did not have any of those types of things. So we sit down and we actually go to, it's going to be actually the audit report now, and I'm looking at a PDF, so I'm looking at page 7, or actually 6, and this is the audit opinion letter. And what this is saying is that we are giving you a clean or an unmodified opinion. These 2 pages is basically saying that. If we are giving a disclaimer of opinion or an adverse opinion, our discussion would be a lot different, but we do have a clean or an unmodified opinion of the financial statements. So if we go to page 8, what I'm looking at is actually the balance sheet from 16 to 15. We're going to talk about the big changes from 15 to 16. And if you look at total current assets, they dropped about $13 million. Well, the reason all of that is, the drop is related to the items, the third and the fourth bullet items, are really the fifth. So at the end of 15, the patient AR was $12 million for the nursing home. At the end of 16, it was 9.4. At the end of 15, there was 19.6 million of impact receivable. At the end of 16, it was 11.4. Obviously, impact ending in August of 16 caused that to come down. That you were still getting payments into 17 to clarify all of impact. And then prepaid and other current assets at the end of 15, there was approximately $2.4 million of prepaid IGT for the impact. And obviously, at the end of 16, there were no prepayments because that program was sufficiently over and you were just in the process of receiving it back. We go to the liability side of the balance sheet. The good news is your liabilities came down about the same, which they should. We would hope for. So at the end of 15, we had almost $28 million in liabilities. The largest part of that is in your accounts payable and 3.6, your AP was down to 10.6. Again, the lion's share of that accounts payable is the nursing home accounts payable, the payments that were due out of the nursing home itself. At the end of this, I have a financial statement that breaks down by the district and the nursing homes, and I want to go over that as well. The next page is the income statement. Again, this is a combined statement with nursing home and also with the district. So overall, I do things a little bit differently. I kind of go to the bottom and work my way back up. So if we go to the bottom of the income statement, current year for the district in total, profit was $265,000. Last year was $5.3 million. The largest part of that is going to go back up. Very first line, net fees and service revenue for the nursing homes within 15 was $100 million. This year was $104. We look at the expenses went from 89 to 99, so that $10 million gap there. So overall, our operation loss, our operating income for 15 was 6.3, and for 16 it was 1.3. Below the line, you see everything was pretty much status quo year to year. A little bit of difference in your interest, but nothing too large there. So starting with page 4 is cash flow. I usually don't go over that unless somebody wants me to beat down that. I'll let you guys look over it. And then starting on page 6 are the footnotes to the report. I usually don't go page by page. I'll be glad to talk about them if you want me to, but usually I'll let the board read those, and if anything comes up, any questions that come up, I'd be glad to talk about it. Anything anybody wants me to go over besides the footnotes? If there are any questions this time, what I'd like to do is go ahead and jump to page 19, and this is a breakdown of the between the district and the nursing home. If we can do that for 16. So starting on page 19, this is our balance sheet again. It's just broken down between the district and the nursing homes, and it shows the elimination. You can see, I want to focus on the district. If you can see in the district, at year-end, there's $3.8 million in the bank, short-term investments of $100,000. The other receivables of 11.4 was the full impact receivable. Again, you'll see that's eliminated out because it's recorded on the nursing homes as well. And if we jump to the liabilities, we can see the current liabilities for the district of 5.7. Again, a majority of that was recorded as payments out to nursing homes, as you can see. Between the nursing home and the district, they're double booked, so we eliminate those out of 11.4. Then you have the notes payable of 3.6. The income statement is really what I wanted to focus on if we look at the district column only. You can see that net patient service revenue, what that is, that's the impact growth that the district would have received.
What number is that?
Payments going out. But overall, if we focus on the first column, you can see the district itself showed a profit of $1.6 million approximately. The nursing homes combined showed a loss of 1.3, and that's how we get to the input, or the bottom line, $265,000 consolidated.
When you say loss, but that's also has to do with the accrued basis?
Yes, it is. It's on the accrual basis, and again, this is a, if and when this thing unwinds, essentially, the way the contract's written, if I remember correctly, this, all money that would be owed to the operator is going to be what was collected at that point. So essentially, this loss is, I don't like to say the word, but it is essentially a paper loss from the nursing home side. The district is not a paper income, that is a true bottom line to the district. Because again, some of those expenses in the nursing home actually came over to the district as revenue. That's why you see those eliminations up top. You see the $24 million eliminations of the revenue expenses. But some of that is recorded on both, and we have to eliminate some off. You can see last year on page 24, you can see if you look at the district column itself, the bottom line of the district was $1.7 million, and this year is 1.6. So overall, pretty consistent 2 years in a row from just the district side. If we focus on what the district are about, the district part of it. After that, the next page is starting with A1. That's actually management discussion analysis. What that is, it's just an overall brief summary of what we just talked about, big picture. This will be in the front part of the audit. Again, all it does is summarize essentially what we talked about already. And then on page 36, that actually, Hubert, that's the management rep letter that will need to get signed in order to go final. And then after that, are the proposed entries. I know that's a lot of information, especially with you guys, you just got it put in front of you.
Oh, so this you need like on the letterhead?
Yeah, the management rep letter, just don't let it get it executed.
Do you have like a Word version of that?
Sure.
Is that what you need to put on a
I
letterhead?
can,
Yeah, the Word version would be better, but I can do it on that.
I can get you a word version. If that will be easier for you guys.
It'd look better.
Okay. I'll do that once we get off, and I'll email it back.
So Tommy, does everything look good or?
I mean, overall, yeah, I mean, confidence, obviously, like I talked about back in May or June, it's just the financial, working with the managers of the nursing homes to get more timely information to everybody. You know, the work that you guys do as far as from the budgeting standpoint and the detail that you guys, the amount of time and effort you guys have put into the nursing home, that, you know, the old UPL, the impact now equipped. I was telling Hubert the other day, I mean, I deal with this all across a lot of districts and a lot of entities, and you guys have more information than I've seen from any district I work with. It is amazing the amount of detail that you guys do have. I know, you know, so from the internal standpoint, you guys have gone above and beyond most all, if not, most of the districts that I've worked with, but a lot of districts. Pretty impressive, honestly. You guys care, and that's what is very, very impressive. I mean, I can tell you, I still have a district that we can't do the audit for 2014 because we can't get any information from the district or the nursing homes that they're affiliated with. Literally, the 24th, we're engaged to do 3 years of audit. We were in the field in November of 16, and we have not received a piece of paper from that district because they say they can't get it from the nursing homes yet. They're obviously cashing the checks as they come in the door from the impact program, or the whole nursing home program. So overall, you guys put a lot of work in. There's been a lot of careful thought and process into you're doing with the variance to it.
So just put it bluntly, we just got our crap together, don't we?
Comparatively speaking, absolutely.
Well, you know.
I told Hubert that if we could follow up what he's done and sell it to all the other districts, we could all retire pretty quickly, I think. It's pretty amazing. So y'all be careful if Hubert disappears one day. You know what happens.
Greener pastures.
Good. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep you dangling on that rope. You're gonna earn your keep, Pete.
That's fine. I'm hanging out at the house
Hey,
with the puppy, so
The
I'm good.
version I have, the electronic version I have, but it's not in here.
No, it looks good. I don't have anything. Anybody have any questions? Tony?
The adjustments, Anthony, the adjustments on the very back.
I did not see that. Here. Not in this
I don't
version.
have it in my version.
They were in the electronic
Here.
copy that I received.